Well, joining us now is Nathan Gonzalez, editor and publisher of Inside Elections. Nathan, as always, thank you so much for coming on Faith Nation tonight. And we want to start by asking you, President Biden's age is an issue that keeps coming up. Now, given the questions around his age and mental health, do you think he is going to run again in 2024? And yesterday we asked the same questions to CBN political analyst David Brody, and he said no. What are your thoughts?
I agree with David in terms of I don't think Biden's going to run again. First of all, I thought you were going to ask me if I was 80, and for the record, I am not 80 years old. But I think his physical, his age, and his political standing are kind of working hand in hand. That if Joe Biden was, he's going to be our first president to serve into his 80s, but if he was at 60% job approval rating, I don't think you would see the same questions being asked. But right now, his disapproval rating is higher than his approval rating. And so there is concern on the Democratic side, not just about his age, but concern that maybe if he runs again, he will help deliver the White House back to the Republicans or even back to former President Trump. And so these two things are working hand in hand. And those collection of things, I don't expect President Biden to run again for president.
Nathan, if you were anywhere near 80, I would have to say you're aging quite well and can offer us all some tips. Along those same lines, though, there's renewed attention on Pennsylvania's Senate race, specifically Democratic candidate John Fetterman's fitness to serve. He did an interview with NBC News that aired yesterday and again this morning, where he used closed captioning to help him understand the questions. Although the reporter said it wasn't clear whether he understood the small talk leading up to the interview. Nathan, how do you think that's going to affect his neck-and-neck race against Dr. Mehmet Oz?
Well, it looks like his recovery, that he's getting better. I mean, if you look at some of he was doing no appearances for a few months, and then now he has been doing more. He was actually just today doing another interview with a newspaper editorial board meeting that was live streamed, and it looked like that went smoothly. So I don't expect this to have a big impact unless during the one debate that is scheduled that something major happens. It really has brought up the conversation, though, about what is fitness for office, and are accommodations such as closed captioning, does that make someone not fit for office? Does someone who is deaf, does that mean that they can't serve in office? And so it's brought up these conversations, and what we're not talking about anymore is the transparency issue. That was initially the question, because Fetterman and the Fetterman campaign was not transparent when he had the stroke before the primary, and I think they downplayed the severity of it. But now that we're a few months away from that, the conversation has really shifted, and this is one of the top races in the entire country.
Now, Nathan, we have about a minute left, but I want to ask you, the president seems to be downplaying possible federal charges being brought against his son, Hunter. How much of a factor is the Hunter Biden story going to be once we get into the 2024 race?
I think the question is, how far are Republicans going to go in investigating Hunter Biden if indeed they win control of the House this year? I think it's clear that they are going to investigate him. And what is the public sentiment or public feeling about that? Because on one hand, Republicans will try to talk about Hunter and his connection to his father and what does that mean financially. But when you listen to President Biden and his phone conversations with Hunter, you can tell that there's a father there who is trying to help his son deal with some very real problems and issues. And so there's both. We're going to have to see when these investigations do come, what is the public feeling about it, and do they think it's relevant, or is it Republicans overplaying their hand?
All right, a young but incredibly wise Nathan Gonzalez with Inside Elections. Nathan, thank you as always.
See you guys. Thank you.